44 recognized outlaw motorcycle gangs operate across Australia. 6 major clubs dominate the landscape: the Hells Angels, Comanchero, Mongols, Bandidos, Rebels, and Finks. Together they account for thousands of members spread across the continent. However, the traditional image of heavily bearded bikers devoted to motorcycles is fading. In their place is a younger, more diverse, and more profit-driven generation focused less on riding and more on organized crime. The year 2026 represents a turning point in Australian organized crime. Territorial boundaries are shifting, long-standing alliances are weakening, and internal fractures are reshaping the balance of power. Understanding who controls which regions requires examining the major changes that have occurred over the past 5 years. Much of what the public believes about these clubs is now outdated. As of 2026, the so-called Big Six outlaw motorcycle gangs remain the dominant forces, though their strength varies significantly by state. The Rebels are still the largest by membership. At their peak, they operated roughly 70 chapters with more than 1,000 members and associates nationwide. Today, about 29 chapters remain active across every state and territory, making them the most geographically widespread club. However, internal disputes and defections have weakened their authority, allowing rivals to expand into areas once firmly under rebel control. The Hells Angels, though smaller in Australia with around 250 members across 14 chapters, benefit from their global network of thousands of members operating in dozens of countries. That international reach provides access to established drug trafficking routes, financial resources, and operational expertise that domestic-only clubs cannot easily match. The Comanchero, founded in Sydney in 1968, has evolved from a traditional motorcycle club into a sophisticated criminal enterprise. Heavy recruitment from Middle Eastern communities has changed both its demographics and operational methods. Many newer members are less connected to motorcycle culture and more focused on organized criminal activity, particularly drug importation and distribution. The Mongols, originally founded in California in 1969, have expanded aggressively into Australia, especially in Queensland and New South Wales. Their American connections offer access to international drug and weapons networks. Their rapid territorial expansion has led to violent confrontations with established clubs. The Bandidos, founded in Texas in 1966, maintain stricter traditional standards, including motorcycle ownership requirements. This approach limits rapid expansion, but fosters tighter internal cohesion. They maintain a steady presence in several states, while generally avoiding high-profile conflicts. The Finks, founded in Adelaide in 1969, retain strong roots in South Australia and parts of Victoria. While maintaining traditional biker culture, they are also involved in organized criminal activities such as drug trafficking and extortion. Beyond the Big Six, dozens of smaller clubs operate nationally, including the Gypsy Jokers, Black Uhlans, Descendants MC, and others. Some control specific regional areas, while others maintain limited Australian chapters connected to overseas networks. New South Wales remains the most contested state. Sydney's population, wealth, drug market, and port facilities make it strategically vital. The Hells Angels have expanded in the Hunter region and northern corridors. The Comanchero maintains strength in western and southwestern Sydney. The Mongols have pushed into contested areas, often clashing with rivals. The rebels remain present but weakened by internal disputes. Police task forces have increased pressure through raids, arrests, and asset seizures, forcing some clubs to operate more discreetly. Victoria, particularly Melbourne, continues to be a stronghold despite anti-gang legislation restricting public display of club colors. The rebels historically dominated the state but have declined. The Hells Angels, Mongols, Comanchero, and Finks all maintain active chapters. Violence between clubs, including shootings and arson attacks on clubhouses, reflects ongoing competition for territory and drug markets. Queensland is strategically important due to its ports and proximity to international drug routes from Asia and the Pacific. Control of southeastern Queensland, especially Brisbane and the Gold Coast, is heavily contested. The Mongols and Comanchero have clashed directly, while the rebels, Bandidos, and Hells Angels also maintain operations. South Australia, particularly Adelaide, has deep historical ties to several clubs, especially the Finks. Rivalries in the state are often personal and long-standing. The rebels and Comanchero compete for influence, while the Hells Angels have gradually expanded their presence. Western Australia operates with relative isolation due to geography. The rebels experienced internal fractures there, while the Comanchero have expanded operations. The Gypsy Jokers retain strong regional influence. WA's drug routes differ from eastern states, often linking to Southeast Asia, shaping distinct criminal dynamics. Across Australia, demographic shifts are reshaping club culture. Law enforcement reports indicate increasing recruitment of younger members and individuals from diverse backgrounds, particularly within certain clubs. Many new members are described as less invested in traditional motorcycle identity and more focused on financial gain through organized crime. This transformation has created internal tensions between long-standing members who value tradition and newer recruits who prioritize profit and expansion. As of early 2026, territorial control remains fluid. In New South Wales, multiple clubs compete for dominance. In Victoria, power is divided among several major groups. Queensland remains fiercely contested. South Australia retains strong historical loyalties. Western Australia operates with unique regional dynamics. Tasmania and the Northern Territory have more limited but still active club presence. Territory changes through violence, negotiation, defections, and law enforcement intervention. The landscape is constantly evolving. What is secure today may be contested tomorrow as clubs adapt, expand, fracture, or decline. The struggle for influence across Australia continues, driven by power, profit, and shifting alliances within the underworld.